what are we gonna do? I'm gonna move back just a little bit so they can't see every pore in my face. All right, so I'm gonna have you just get nice and comfortable in your chair. And then I want you to shut your eyes down. I want you to check in with your body. You can do that inventory of all your joints, your spine, shoulder, elbows, wrists, fingers, your pelvis, your hips, knees, ankles, and toes. Just check in with all those joints, see if they feel comfortable, see if those surrounding muscles need a little bit of extra attention today. Good, I want you to take one deep breath in through the nose and let it out. Good, and now I want you to check in with your mind. If there's anything weighing heavy on your mind, any to-do lists, anything that feels negative, I want you to put it at the edge of your chair today. And then at the end of class, you can decide if you want to pick that up and move throughout the rest of your day with that. Or maybe you just want to leave it there. Good, and then I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out. And then you'll slowly open up those eyes. You'll sit up tall in your chair. You're gonna drop those palms open. You'll take that deep breath in and let it out as you roll those shoulders back. Deep breath in. And one more. Those hands can slide right back on your lap, and then you're going to look side to side, find the range of motion that feels comfortable and the rhythm that feels comfortable. And I'm going to add another person into class. Good, and then you'll relax that center. And then you're going to relax those arms down next to your side. You'll reach down to the left side of your chair, and then the right side of your chair, and then the left side, and the right side, and then the left side, and the right side. And then you'll relax that center. Those hands can go back in your lap. And this time you're going to drop that chin into chest. And then you'll look up at your ceiling. Find the range of motion again that feels comfortable. And I'm going to mute. Oh, that's muted. I thought that was on screen. Good, and then you'll relax that head still, and you're going to drop those arms open again. This time you're going to roll that left shoulder back and then that right shoulder. And if you want to add a little bit of rotation in that torso, you're more than welcome to. Good, one more on each side. Good, and then you'll relax those still. Then you're going to move to the front of your chair, so you're sitting right on the edge. And I want you to touch that opposite shoulder and then just rotate that. Find a nice rhythm again. And a comfortable range of motion for yourself. You can see I'm reaching back a little bit further and further, but I'm keeping my posture tall. Good, and then you'll relax that still, and those hands will go right there in your lap. We'll do your modified cow-cat next. So you're gonna open up that chest to the ceiling. You can look up at that ceiling as far as what feels comfortable, finding that arch in your back, and then you'll press that spine out to the back of your chair. When I do that, I slide those hands over my kneecaps, tuck my chin into chest. Here we go, 3 more, deep breath in, cow, and cat. Deep breath in and cow, and cat. One more, deep breath in, cow, and cat. Good, and then we're gonna sit tall, and we're gonna rock those hips side to side, so you're lifting that right rear end cheek, left rear end cheek. Good, and then we'll relax that still, and then you're gonna walk your hips all the way back into your chair, so you're at your seat back right there, and you'll extend that right leg out, and then that left leg. Show me the bottom of your shoe, right leg, and left leg, and right leg, and left leg, and right leg, and left leg, and last 2, right leg, and left leg. Good, and then you're gonna walk those hips forward just to about the center of your chair. Those hands will stay right there on your thighs, and you're gonna start your torso rotations to your left. You can be as small as you want or as big as you want. You can really move that upper body if you would like, and you're just gonna check in with your body. Is this what your body needs right now? Your body might be ready for a bigger range of motion. Your body might say, no, I want this smaller range of motion. And you might be right in here. Good, give me 2 more to the left. Remember, you're always welcome to add a breath. So when you're seated upright, you can take that deep breath in and let that breath out as you rotate that. Good, now we're gonna go to those feet. You're gonna lift up that right toe with that left heel, and you're gonna rock those feet forward and back. We're gonna do 10 of these. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you'll clasp those fingers together, and you're gonna make those figure 8s with your wrists. Tell yourself right now, when you go to the right, I'm going under and over, or over and under. Because you're gonna have to remember that. We'll come back to this and we'll go the opposite direction. Good, and then you'll relax those hands still. And then you'll reach out with that to me. Round that upper back just a little bit. And then if it feels comfortable, I'm going to have you flip your palms out and reach right overhead. Press those to the ceiling. Good, you'll let that go, and those hands will go right there in your lap again. And then you're going to start those torso rotations to your right. Again, finding that range of motion that your body needs right now. Maybe it's a smaller range of motion. Adding that breath, so you can take that deep breath in when you're seated upright. Let that breath out as you rotate that torso. Good, just give me 2 more of those to the right. Good, and you'll relax that still right here in the middle. You're gonna lift up that right toe with that left heel and you'll rock those feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then you'll clasp those hands, and this time you're gonna go that other direction. Hopefully you remembered which direction you went last time. Sometimes it helps if you're struggling with the coordination of it to say it out loud. We're videoing today, so just so you know. Good, and then you'll relax that still. You'll push those hands out to me. You can round that upper back. And you can flip those hands inside out if it feels comfortable and press them straight overhead. Good, and we'll let that go. So now we're gonna go back down to the feet and we're gonna roll our weight to the outside of our foot, the outer edge, then we're gonna roll it to the inside. If you look at me, it's not a huge move and we're trying not to roll the bottoms of our feet up so our feet stay on the surface. So we'll just roll to the inside, roll to the outside, roll to the inside, roll to the outside. Give me 3 more of those. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. And we have our shoes on today and it might be a little bit harder, but if you can spread your toes out in your shoes in class, if you have your shoes off, online, try to spread those toes. And then I want you to take your toes in your shoes and just do this with your toes. So scrunch them, scrunch them, scrunch them, scrunch them. I talked about with the other class how important it is to exercise your feet. We don't tend to do that very much. So we've done toe yoga where I have you lift your big toes up 10 times. Those are really good activities to do throughout the week. And then press your big toes into the floor and lift all your smaller toes up for 10 times. Those are really good things to do. I'm gonna have you walk your feet out. And we're gonna go through range of motion here first, and then we'll stretch it out. So we're gonna take that left hand and bring our fingertips down to the inside of our left heel. And then we're gonna slowly switch. This will warm up our core a little bit more too. So we're keeping it in tight and we're coming back in that upright seated position, and then we're gonna switch. Good, you can take a deep breath in and let it out when we switch. And we'll do each side one more time. So you can take that deep breath in right here and then switch. And deep breath in and switch. Good, and then you're gonna come on that left thigh with that left forearm, and you'll lean and reach to the right or left with the right arm next to your ear. Shoulders are out of your ears. Good, now you're gonna slowly open up that chest to the right side of your room. Good, and then we'll switch. That right forearm goes on that thigh, that left arm goes right next to your ear. You're leaning and reaching with that left arm to your right side. Your shoulders are out of your ears. Good, and then we're gonna open up our chest to the left side of the room. Good, and then we'll release that, and then we're gonna rotate our whole body to the left side of our room. We're gonna take our hands, we're gonna press against that thigh and upright or torso. You should be feeling a stretch in the front of that right hip if you're doing it correctly. Again, shoulders are out of the ears. Good. While you're in this position, remember you can always practice that breathing. So you can take that deep breath in through the nose and let it out. You might do 3 or 4 of those breaths. Good. Now we're going to let go of that right leg and we're going to bring that forward so we're sitting side saddle. And that arm that's out here, furthest away from the back of your chair, you're going to take that hand and grab a hold of the back of the chair. Then you're going to turn and look out over that shoulder. So you should be looking at me. Is everybody looking at me? Straight in. So you're doing the outside arm. This is your outside arm. So reach towards me with the arm that's closest to me. Okay, and then you're going to take that hand and grab the back of that chair. And then you'll turn and look. You should feel that stretch right in that shoulder blade, maybe down that arm a little bit. That other hand, sometimes I just don't give you a lot of instruction on it. I personally like putting mine in my chair, in the seat of my chair. Martha has hers just sitting right there in her lap. My arms are long enough that I can just put it right there in the seat of my chair, and then I can think about pulling my shoulders out of my ears. You should be looking at me, not looking at the mirror at me, right? Yep. So once you look at me, you should feel that stretch right there. That's okay. Good, and then you'll relax that down. Now we're going to still sit side saddle, but we're going to take that right leg and we're going to drop that out in front. And then we're going to turn and stretch over. We might stretch all the way down to that ankle, but we don't want to lose that posture to get there. So if we look in the mirror, we have hunched shoulders and the back looks rounded up there, then we're going to try to open up that chest and get those shoulders out of our ears. We're going to try to hinge from that hip. Some people might be able to clasp those hands. You're still there. And then put it over their foot if they're feeling flexible enough. Make sure that knee doesn't hyperextend, so you don't want that knee to bend back. So then we'll slowly slide that up, and I'm going to have you wave your foot at me. You won't be able to go out as far, but that might slow you down a little bit. So many people do this way too fast, like a windshield wiper, and you just always want that to be slow and controlled, right? So now we're going to slide that foot in. We're going to start with our reverse warrior, and then I'm going to give you options on your next thing. So I'm going to keep us just like this, okay? So this left foot is pointing straight towards the left wall, and then your other foot should be pointing towards me, right? And I like putting my hand in my seat, so that's why I moved forward just a little bit. But we're gonna take that front hand, and we're gonna reach out with that palm up. And then I like taking my back hand and sitting it and grabbing a hold of the seat of my chair. And then I tell you, it's like you're throwing a ball over your head and opening that up. For me, my arms are long, so now I'm gonna reach down and grab the leg of my chair so I can get a little bit more of a stretch.
Also, if you're hot, it's cold to put your hand
Yeah.
on it.
You can cool yourself off, which people were having trouble doing in the fitness center today. It's perfect for me. Good, and then we'll release that. And then I'm gonna give you the options here. So I'm gonna pull my heel to my rear. So, and for some people, this is just not a good position for them in this chair, but it is for me. So this is what I'm gonna do. Your other choice would be to get a little bit more of a hip flexor stretch and lean and reach to the back of your chair. So those are your two choices, or you can pick something else that you really like. When you do this, you want to make sure that knee is pointing down to your floor and you don't have your hip hiked out like this. We release this, you can always add some breaths, right? But once we release this, we're going to turn to that right side of our room and we're going to do all of these same moves on the right side. Good, so we'll release that leg and then we're going to turn towards our right. We'll extend that leg back behind for a hip flexor stretch, and we'll push those hands into our thigh and upright our torso. That heel stays up on that back leg. Good. Now you're going to let that leg go and you're